insurers still basically cover tornadoes in Alberta, and they will continue to cover windstorms in Ontario. However, the risk profiles have changed.
Home insurance is getting pricier for some as insurance providers reevaluate risk in light of major climate change events affecting large swaths of the country. The Insurance Bureau of Canada's VP for Climate Change says the industry's been keeping track of the issue since the 1980s, but it was the 2013 floods in Calgary and Toronto that really made the industry take note.
That's when insurers really took a hard look and said, it looks like business in this country is changing, and we're going to have to evolve with it. And really, that's when all the work that's happened around flood insurance began with those events.
Craig Stewart says at that time, many policies simply didn't cover overland flooding, like river overflowing its banks or major runoff from snowmelt. That's something providers had to rethink immediately. Complicating matters, Stewart notes that in some instances, Canadian flood maps were decades out of date. In cases where insurers can't make good risk assessments, the options for homeowners aren't good.
So how insurers have handled that uncertainty is by either having low coverage limits, by simply trying to make sure they're not too exposed in case they get the risk wrong, or they have high deductibles.
The 2023 federal budget includes cash for a national flood insurance program, which the IBC welcomed. But Stewart says with increasing wildfires and new disasters, Canada should be prepared to consider what other disasters could become more frequent and require federal help.
It's important for any program set up with government and insurers to be basically future-proof. And we're working with the federal government to make sure that that's the case, so that in the next decade, we're not in a place like California where wildfires, new coverage isn't being written for wildfires. We want to make sure that that's not going to happen.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.